Hey everybody, this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, coming to you from, well, today it's sunny western Pennsylvania. This is Monday, January the 16th, 2023. And I have a couple reasons for doing this video today. I hadn't done one in over a week because there's just not as much, farm work and stuff going on this time of year. But there were a couple of things that I did want to mention in this video. One is that I'm recording it using a new camera. My wife got me a GoPro Hero 9 Black for Christmas, which I am very grateful for. There are newer Hero models out there. I think there's a 10 and an 11, but this one, the 9, had a lot of. It was still new. It has a lot of good features, and it was affordable. So she got this for me. So if you see a difference in my video, it's because I'm not using an iPhone like normal. I'm using this new GoPro, and we'll see how that goes. The other reason for this video is to talk about something that is probably part of the life of most farmers, at least around here, and that's pesticide education. I never sprayed for weeds or anything in our crops until the early 90s, after my dad had passed away, but he had been doing all the spraying, and I really didn't know anything about it. But in Pennsylvania, and I don't know what it's like in other states, and maybe the same or similar or maybe different, but at least here, in order to be able to spray pesticides, especially herbicides is what I know about, you have to have a license with the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. Now, I got my license back in 1991, and the way that you do that is by completing, well, at that time they gave you this booklet, a pesticide education manual, which you had to study, and then after studying it, then you went and took a test that generally took a couple hours to complete. You had to go to this specific site to take this test, and it was monitored. They did allow you to use the book, but it was really a good idea to go through the book thoroughly, just so that you could, basically know where everything is for things that you needed to look up. And I really think this knowledge of, pesticides and safe handling techniques is really a good idea. I see a lot of people around my area, and I've even seen some on YouTube who were spraying pesticides with an open station tractor, and for example, not wearing any kind of safety apparel. They weren't wearing rubber gloves or boots. They had short sleeve shirts on, and I think maybe the worst of all, they weren't wearing any kind of a respirator. And I just don't understand how or why people do that, and maybe in their states, at least in the other states besides Pennsylvania, maybe they don't have the laws that we do here, but I kind of thought it would probably be similar in most places. But here in Pennsylvania, you have to have one of these licenses or be working under the direction of somebody who does. And so when I started spraying, my next door neighbor, as always, helped me out quite a bit to get started. And then I took this pesticide course and took the test and passed it. Now, once you pass it, then your license is good, and you're eligible to, spray pesticides and buy the controlled pesticides for a period of 3 years. And then at the end of that 3 years, you have to renew your license. Now, that renewing means that you have to earn a total of what they call 12 credits, 6 core credits and 6 category credits. The core credits have to do with really, pesticide safety and that type of thing, labels and all of that. And then the category is more agronomics, dealing with plant growth and, the mode of action of herbicides and, how to know which one to use and more that type of thing. And in Pennsylvania, we have lots of different ways that you can accomplish that. This little publication just came out last week, and this is put out by Penn State University, and we're lucky to have, one of the leading agricultural universities right here in our state. But this little publication goes out to people who have licenses, private licenses like myself, and gives you some of the highlights of what's going on with pesticides, like the plastic pesticide container recycling program. I don't know if this one has it. Well, yeah, it does. It's called Pen Sweep, which is where they tell you where you can take unused and unwanted pesticides from your farm, where you can take them. They have the state divided up into like 7 different regions, and it tells you where you can take the pesticides, unwanted stuff in your region, to properly dispose of it. Okay, and just lots of news about pesticides. But the other thing that they have is generally a listing like this, where they talk about where they're having pesticide education meetings. Typically, the Penn State, they call it the Extension Service, will put on 2-hour sessions in many different counties throughout the state. And it might cost something like $10 to attend one of these, but if you attend that session and there really isn't any kind of a test or anything at the end, you just show up and attend it, and then at the end you fill out paperwork. The state sends it in, or the Penn State sends it in for you to the PA Department of Agriculture, and you get your recertification. And then it's good for another 3 years. So that's one way that you can do it. Some of the seed companies, like I buy much of my seed from Pioneer or Corteva. Our Pioneer sales representative in our area usually will sponsor one of these meetings. And the nice thing about his is it doesn't cost you anything, and he also provides lunch. So you go there for the 2-hour pesticide meeting, they serve you lunch, and you're on your way. So that's pretty convenient. So that's another way that it can be done. Also, the state provides, or Penn State provides online courses that you can take and webinars. Now, the thing about them is you take the online, I've never taken one of the online courses. I have taken the webinar, and it's usually about a 2-hour presentation where somebody is presenting it to you live with lots of information, and then they give you information to go to a site where you take a quiz. Now, that means you pretty much have to take good notes, and you take the quiz, and if you pass it, again, you earn those credits for that webinar, and it gets reported to the PA Department of Agriculture. If you fail that quiz, then you actually get to take it a number of more times until you eventually do pass. So I've done that as well. And that does work, and it's convenient because you can do it at home. It's just that it's kind of a pain in the ass if you don't know the answers, then to try to go back and figure out what those answers are. Now, what I've done last year in 2022 and this year for 2023 is that I've done what they call a correspondence course. And by the way, you have a choice as to how you want to get your 12 credits. You can do them, you can wait and not do anything over the first 2 years that your license is good for, and then hurry up and do all 12 of them at one time whenever your license is going to run out, But what I like to do is to get, since it's good for 4 years, I try to get, or for 3 years, I try to get my 4 credits every year, my 2 core and 2 category, and that way, at the end of the 3-year period, I have the 6 core and the 6 category I need, and it's not a mad rush to get it done. But as I said, last year and now this year in 2023, I've done a correspondence course. And what they do is they send you a booklet like this. Now, this particular booklet is for two category credits, because this has to do with soybean diseases, how you recognize them and how you treat them and that type of thing. So that's on that 2 credits on the agronomic side. This one that I also took this year is worth 2 core credits, and it's on the pesticide spill protocol, how to have a pesticide spill kit, what it should have, how you handle a spill, what you do in the area surrounding a spill, how you report it, and that type of thing. Now, with these booklets, it's full of information. They say that it should take you about an hour to complete each one of these 2 little correspondence courses. But what you do, you read the information. They include a quiz, which I won't show you because that would be giving away information that they don't want to give away. But they give you a multiple choice / true-false quiz with 10 questions. And if you answer 7 out of the 10 correctly, you pass. So you do your quiz, you put it in a envelope that they provide. It's already postage paid. You mail it off, and they grade the quiz. And if you pass, they report your credits to the Department of Agriculture, and you're all done. Now, these cost about $10 a piece, and it's a couple dollars of shipping. And that's, obviously, more expensive than the $10 that you would pay to go to a 2-hour meeting where you would get the same as what I got here, which would be 2 core and 2 category credits. But I like the fact that I can do this at home in my sweatpants, in the comfort of my house with an adult beverage in hand if I want, and I don't have to go anywhere to do it. So this is one of the ways that I like to do this. But if I didn't do it this way, I'd probably go to one of the meetings that my seed dealer sponsors, because I'd get a free lunch. So I know this wasn't probably the most exciting content that I've ever put up, but when I started my channel, which was just a little over a year ago, I mentioned that one of the things I wanted to accomplish with it was to, I wanted it to focus on farming, so I don't show you, what I did on my vacation or, anything like that, or somebody's birthday party. I don't show you, nothing wrong with those things. I just choose not to show that kind of stuff. I want mine to deal with nothing but the farm and farm-related things. But also, one of my purposes was to show, both farmers and probably especially non-farmers alike, what the life of on a small farm is like here in Western Pennsylvania. And, from a lot of the videos, at least that I put up, and other people like me, non-farmers might get the idea that, we spend all our time all year just riding around in tractors and combines and grain trucks and stuff like that. But that's why I've done some other kinds of videos too. Like my last video was on the planning for the 2023 crop year, because that's something that's important that, goes on in the late fall and the winter of each crop year. But for at least us here in Western Pennsylvania, this is something else that goes on. This continuing education to help us get the recertification credits that we need to be able to maintain our pesticide applicator licenses. So I just wanted to show this just because it is something that we have to kind of do kind of behind the scenes. And I'm not telling anybody else how they should do it. That's everybody's choice. But not that I like a lot of government regulation, but I do like the idea that this is a way to keep myself up to date, not only on some agronomics but also on pesticide safety. And I really do think it's very important for applicators, private applicators like myself, to be careful and to protect themselves when they're applying pesticides. So that's pretty much it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. At least it gives you a little bit of insight on one of the things that goes on here for farmers in Western PA. If you did enjoy it, I hope you'll hit the like button and consider subscribing. If you have subscribed already, I appreciate that very much. And so for now, this is Charlie, the Pennsylvania grain farmer, saying, see you next time.